Check 1, 2. Testing. Hold it. Testing 1, 2. Check, 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 check. Pointing towards my chin. That's better. That's better. Check, check, check. Test 1, 2. Check test 1, 2. Hold on a second here. We are doing a thing, and the thing is a thing. 1 second. Layers. Yep. Edit. We're good there. Yeah, we're good there. Let's see. Crop a little bit. There we go. Got it. I've got this confidence monitor thing. Oh, golly, I just screwed it up. Got this confidence monitor thing in front of me, and it helps. Not the help of that, but it helps me keep oriented. Number one, I can see myself, and the camera is right there in front of me, and then behind me is a TV with me on it. No ego problems here. And so I can make sure that I'm doing okay. I don't have, one shoulder hunched up or, tilted my head way over to one side, which I'm prone to do. And yeah, so there we go. So Gunner's back. Didn't even realize you were gone. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Gee whiz. I guess we could do the, this was not working last week. And, the YouTube API wasn't speaking nicely. Goodness, something I ate, no doubt. Wasn't speaking nicely to the vMix social. And hello, Michael. Everybody's getting comfortable. Anyway, social's working this week. Wasn't this week and last week. And that's the, the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I've seen lots of posts and gotten calls from people that have had trouble with Facebook. They just couldn't, they couldn't stream to Facebook from vMix. I couldn't log in, they would log in, but it just, or they were already logged in and it wasn't working. It wasn't showing up their destinations. And that happens from time to time. And that's, it's Facebook is free. You get what you pay for. And it took a few days, I think, for it to work itself out for everybody to figure out if you just logged out and logged back in again, it would work again. But that's what you get when you don't pay for a product. You don't always get what you want, when you want it, and when you need it. So, yeah. Anyways, really excited about today's show. Really excited. I mean, I'm excited. And I'll be honest, I don't get excited a whole lot. And so I'm excited about this. And I'm not going to say anything about it because I'm that excited. I'm also excited, and this may be underlying it, is that we have a grandchild that we're expecting any day now. This will be grandchild numero 4, and it's going to be a girl. That's right, a girl. I'm the oldest of 3 boys. I'm the father of 3 boys. My 3 boys have 3 boys, not each, but between them. And now we're having this girl. It's been 95 years since there was a girl born in my side of the family. 13 boys over 4 generations. with no girls. I mean, we get to pick them, but that, but they're not born into the family. So this is going to be a big deal. I don't know what to do with girls. Oh my gosh. What do you, I mean, it's just not ingrained into our family DNA. We'll have to relearn. Fortunately, the beautiful women that we've brought into our family can help us with that because they grew up as girls. Yes, they did. And some of them have sisters. Let's see. 2 out of the 3 have sisters. That's right. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be fun. Oh my goodness. I forgot that anybody can watch this show. Hello, Tommy Willis. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Glad you made it. Glad you made it. We're enjoying lovely weather here in Alabama today. It's in the low 70s Fahrenheit, of course, and beautiful sunny day. A little light breeze, more like March or April than January, but we'll take what we get. You never get what you deserve. Anyways, I hope you're going to NAB. I haven't made my hotel reservation yet, but I have made my flights. And you know, if worst comes to worst, I can just bunk in with Tommy Willis and his crew. We'll see. It's going to be fun though. It's going to be fun. I missed it last year because we had a grandbaby due, and actually, when was that rascal born? He was born in March, but we thought it might have rolled over into April, so we weren't sure. So we decided not to go just to be on the safe side. But this rascal, she's going to be born Friday, Saturday, maybe tomorrow. Not even sure. We will just have to wait and see. It'll be fun. Whatever it is, it'll be fun. I'm surprised they'll even let you out of town, Tommy. Everybody's saying hello today. Hello, Rich. It's good to see you. Glad to have you. I don't know if you can see his avatar. Yeah, there it is down there in the bottom right corner. But he's got the guns going. Would have been nice. There was a day when I had guns. Now I have whatever's smaller than a gun. Well, Tommy, when I go out on my debt, I have to swat because we have mosquitoes. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Does anybody know? I'm gonna put my name over the title of the. Does anybody know what this is? Really neat little surface. It's got sliders. It's got a jog shuttle. It's got all these volume meters, and then it's got a ton of buttons. They're pre-labeled, but I was hoping maybe we could, redo them and have them be whatever we wanted them to be. They say select, record, solo, and mute. So obviously it's for audio. And then over here in this panel, of course, you've got your play and pause and stop and record buttons. So that's right, Tommy. That's exactly what it is. It is a Korg Nano Control Studio. And try as I may, I have not been able to get this thing to work with vMix. You know what? Maybe I just figured it out. There's an on-off switch on the back. We'll see. We'll see. But this is sort of a hint of what today's show is going to be like. Yeah, that works for me. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You know, I was thinking about this morning, Michael, now that you mention it. Um, and when I start the stream, I checked my streamer to make sure it was all set, make sure it was set for AV1 because we're doing, you know, that kind of low bandwidth, high quality streaming. And I thought, you know, what a contrast. How ironic is it? Is it irony that in the days when we're getting faster and faster and faster internet, we're finally getting products that allow us to stream high quality at a slower and slower speed. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So you just never know, you know, it's just, I mean, we got new internet. They put fiber in our neighborhood 3 months ago or something like that. And finally we're able to get the introductory price down where I was willing to go for it. And is AT&T, and we've had AT&T for years. You know, Sandy's got all the cell phones except mine, which is business phone. All the cell phones are with AT&T, and we had AT&T internet. It wasn't fast. It was, you know, kind of DSL on steroids. But I think it was, you know, maybe 60 down, 10 up or something like that, which for a household is okay. And I checked it this morning and it was 350 down and 340 up. I'm like, what I would have given to have had that in my home studio 10 years ago. Holy cow. But, and now that I've got fast internet, I've also got AV1. So I don't need fast internet. Isn't that just kind of amazing? Just amazing. Yeah. Yep. 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 Let's see. What does Michael say? Tom, will you start the show by giving a short overall, high level, no tech intro to central control? High level, no tech. Did I read that right? Short. I got that. It'll be very short. Overall, high level, no tech intro to central control. Michael, I appreciate your comment, but I think Tommy says it best. High level? No, I don't want to get into the show stuff yet. Is it showtime? Almost. We got a minute. Sit tight, and we'll get there. We'll get there. May not be what you want, but it's what you need. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I just crack myself up. You know, isn't that funny? Sometimes you'll walk around and think something and just start laughing, or you'll say something out loud to family or friends, and they'll just look at you like you're crazy, but you know it was the funniest thing that you've said in months. That's me. That's me. Oh, Tommy, you give me too much credit. You give me too much credit. The credit that I'm due is that I'm really not that bright. And so I have to simplify it in order to be able to understand it. But that makes it good for teaching. So there you go. Yours is bigger than mine, for sure. But what do you do with all that? What do you do with it all? Otis is here from Houston. Otis, what kind of internet speed you got? Oh, it's time for the show. All right. We'll continue our chit chat in the post show, and take notes of the show and be prepared to ask questions in the post show. Okay. And oh, somebody gave me a hard time about not having, hang on a second. We're going to start just a few minutes late. Not having the right outro. And I thought I had the right outro. Yeah, 2024. So let's see what the outro is. Intro, outro. Opening, closing. Here it is. Closing. 2023. Well, look at that. I thought it was that I'd updated it. Well, let's see if we can change it real quick without having to redo all of it. Bear with me. This is, you get these last minute thoughts. Thank goodness this is not like a network show or something like that where you have to be ready to go. I've got a folder here called Show Videos. Yes, and the 2024 closing. Okay. Okay, did that do right? It did. It did. So let's save it real quick before we lose it. And then we start the show. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, hold it. 12 to 1400 up and down. Now here's somebody, Rich lives in the real world. Holy cow. He lives in the real world. He's only got a gig. What is that? I can remember when I only had a meg or less. I remember growing up streaming, back in the 90s. Well, the aughts. When I would have 0.5 as my upload speed, and so I would stream at 0.3. Talk about no room for error. Anyway, story for another day. Let's start the show. We got to pull out trusty X keys, which will be the partial conversation today, and hit the intro button. All right, love it. Thank you so much, Martin K. He does such fine work. Yes, he does. So really excited about today's show. Probably a little bit more excited than I should be because I've got a grandbaby due in another day or two. It'll be the first squirrel born in our family in 95 years, but just never mind about that. We have, let's see if we can transition into this shot. Well, hold it. Let's do this first. You'll never notice the difference. And then we'll do this. Boom. There we go. We have in the house today the, and it happens to be frozen for some reason. How about that? The NewTek 3-play controller. And I'm a little shocked that it's not live. Anyway, we'll fix that in just a second. And that's a project that I kind of willingly adopted. Little short history here. There is a Major League Baseball AA team that contacted me about building a vMix replay machine for them to replace their aging Tricaster, which, they had tried everything they could to keep it running, and NewTek was not returning their phone calls. It's like, they didn't want anything to do with it. I don't know how old it was, but it was the 3-play, so it was it wasn't that old. And they said, can you build us a machine? I said, sure. What are you using now? And they said NewTek 3-play, and I said, well, I think we can repurpose and reuse your controller, the control surface for it, and save you about $1,000. They're like, really? Because it cost us more than $1,000. And I said, yeah, but it's also 89 years old now, and you're going to keep it. You've already paid for it. No sense in paying for another one. because I had heard through the grapevine, and I was hoping I was right. I knew I was, that Joe DeMax and Central Control had created that amazing classical mythical link between NewTek and vMix, and that you just snap your fingers and it works, right? So that's what I told them. That's what we'll do. We'll repurpose it, and so send it to me. And as we're building the machine, we'll build everything around it. And so they sent it to me. Today's Wednesday. I got it Monday. Pulled it out. I was like, this is interesting. It's here in a box. Let's see. Can we? Oh, well, I'm trying to do this while I'm doing it, but it's not working. Hold on. Just give me a second to try to fix this camera thing. Change desktop capture. Let's take that one and see if that gives us something back live. Are we live? Yeah, we're live with that camera. Okay. So we're live with the camera. So they sent me this little guy right here. And as you can tell, there's a little dust on him, and he's got some gear, probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years. How old can one of those things be? And I realized that I needed a special cable. I needed that USB. Well, this is not one, but I don't even have one handy. Anyway, the square USB A and then the flat USB B, not C. Anyway, I found one. I had to steal it from my Behringer, the UMC 404 HD, which meant that I couldn't use both those devices at the same time, which was going to be difficult to do a show on it. But I worked that out because I found another one in my closet. You ought to see my closet. Gee, my knee. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. Trying not to get sidetracked, but I'm getting sidetracked. So they sent me the controller, and I plugged it in, and Windows said, hey, you've got a NewTek device. Let's install some drivers for it. I thought, oh, this is going to be easier than I thought. And then, of course, I went into vMix, and it didn't see it, but it did show up in Device Manager. So I did a quick Google search, found out I could download a driver for it from NewTek. So I downloaded a driver for it. Of course, it didn't work because NewTek wasn't expecting, I guess, to put it on my Windows 10 machine. They had a driver for Windows XP or whatever it was they were using back then. And so I said, oh, that's right. Joe DeMax. Yes, Otis printer cable. That's right, exactly right. And I said, Joe DeMax. Joe DeMax is the guy. Joe DeMax is the guy. He is the guy that knows this stuff. In fact, he's the one that's made the link between all this foreign gear and vMix. There must be half a dozen, maybe 10, maybe a dozen NewTek control surfaces that will work with vMix. Now, I'm going to give you a very, very brief demo. And in fact, we're going to have Joe on the show next week to go into more detail. But I wanted to give you the unvarnished, fresh in the mind approach that I kind of took with this thing because, I think I tell everybody I'm an idiot, but really I think I'm brilliant. Aren't we all like that? And I got into this and I was like, oh, gee whiz. Did I watch a tutorial? No. Within 5 minutes, I was pulling up a tutorial. But the tutorial I pulled up was an older version of what I downloaded. I downloaded the latest, greatest. Of course, you always want the latest, greatest. And the tutorial, it had a different look. The buttons were different. Anyway, so I was stymied. So I Facebook messaged Joe and I said, help. They said, what do you need? And I said, well, I'm trying to do this, this, and this. And I'm watching this video and I'm watching Ollie and it's not helping. And I guess Ollie was on the more recent video, not the older one. Anyway, I stumbled through it and I figured it out with assistance from Joe. And yeah, Tommy says, tutorial? I don't need no stinking tutorial. Manual? No. Anyway, so I thought I would show you kind of what I went through and the aha. I left the studio yesterday just on cloud nine because this thing was working. It was amazing. Okay, I've got it right here. All right, this is the central control interface. And let me take a second and sharpen that. And you're not going to be able to see everything, I know, because it just, there's just this text down here at the bottom is too small. But there are a couple things. This is the window that opens up. So you add a device. Okay, I got that. That's pretty cool. You can minimize, you can change this window size, or you can X out of it. It's got a little CPU down here. And then down here, it's got a little window, which you can't see when I click it. But that's okay. In fact, you know what? You may not be able to. Anyway, we'll work this out in a second. Anyway, there's a little window down here that allows you to save and rename and all that kind of stuff. And this is just sort of a log of what's actually going on. So let's add a device. We're going to add a device. And I said, okay, so let's go to new tech, right? And I'm going to put in the new tech 3-play. No, that one didn't work. I'm going to put in the new tech 3-play 3P10. No, that one didn't work. And then Joe said, oh, well, what you really want is the new tech 850 TW. Didn't know that. Probably would still be working on this today if I worked 24 hours on it, still worked on it today and not figuring this out. So hat tip to Joe on that one. So I select that one. I click OK. And it says set a new name for it. I'm just going to call it the 850 TW because that's really all I need. And what a cool thing happens, and I should have done a split screen, but I'm going to show you right here. When I add this device and turn it on, well, nothing happens. So let's go back over here. I've got to select a port. Aha, I got to select a port. What ports do I have? Well, darn it. Let me redo this screen capture because I'm screen capturing the window and it doesn't do everything that we need it to do because we really want to see the whole monitor. So let's see if we can't figure out. Oh, bear with me just a second. I think that's display 2. No, that's not display 2. Don't you like it when I work all this stuff out live in front of you? Let's try again. Change local desktop capture. Let's see if it's display 1. No, yeah, that looks like it. Okay, good. So you get to see my whole desktop. Let's make sure that we're still on sharpen. We are. Okay. All right. So add a device, and yeah, this is going to be small. I know. Oh, you know what? I can change that, can't I? 1 second. Position, and we're going to zoom. Nope, can't zoom that one. Wrong layer. We'll zoom this one. That'll work. That'll work. All right, get that out of the way. At least that's a little bit better. Okay. So I've got my device added. And over here, there are COM ports, 1 and 3. So I got a 50-50 shot. Now think, I had like a 1 in 13 shot just a minute ago. Now I'm up to 50-50. I tried COM 1 and, oh, let's just do something else for fun. Hold on. Bear with me. We're going to go to layers. We're going to add layer 6. And we are going to edit layer 6. We are going to zoom it down. Oh. We're going to zoom it down. And we're going to crop it. Crop me out of it. Except it won't. That's okay. That's small enough, I think. Except it's in the wrong place. Hold on. hold on. Position, can we just drag it over here? Yeah, there we go. We're going to drag it right there. Good, good. All right, so we've got that device. We're going to need to find the port. I tried one, and one wasn't right. And then I tried two, and I thought one was right. So I was trying to do all sorts of things, and I just omitted one little detail, which is Joe said when you get it hooked up, it'll do a light show. Well, I don't know what a light show is. So I did COM 1 and nothing happened. And then I decided, well, let's try COM 3. And so I turned it on, and there was the light show. Would you like to see it again? That's what's the best. It's the light show. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Let's do it one more time. The light show. How cool is that? Oh my golly. So when I had the light show, I knew that I was on the right track because now something could happen. Boy, was I deceived. All right, so the next step in this process is to add a device like, all right, I've got the controller and I want the controller to talk to something. So let's do something else here. Hold on. We're going to do one more thing. We are going to go to layers. We are going to go to, let's go to main shot. No, not virtual shot, main shot. Yeah, there it is, main shot. Main shot will work. Nope, don't want main shot. Main shot won't work. Let's go to, where is the, what is that thing called? Mix 3, that's it. That's got to be it, right? Mix 3. Did anything happen? Yes. Okay, so we'll go to mix 3, and then we're on mix 3, and let's take that down. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Let's put that here. Let's do some cropping. So you could have done all this much earlier, Tom, and it would have been much better. Yeah, well, so much for that. Okay, so now I'm happy. I get to be part of the show again. All right, so we've got the Tricaster thingy right here, and we want it to talk to vMix. So apparently vMix is a device. So let's add it as a device, and we'll just cheat, and we'll say vMix. And I don't even have to press the enter key. You know, Joe has got it searching based on whatever characters I type in. And it's interesting because if I had looked on the list by manufacturer and gone down to the V's for vMix, it wouldn't be here because vMix is not the manufacturer of the vMix product. Studio Coast is the name of the corporation behind vMix. You might not have known that. So anyway, we'll select vMix and we'll say okay, and we'll just call it vMix. No new name needed. So now I have two devices. Aha. And this one stumbled me for a while too. Over here on the right side, you may not be able to see it. It's kind of teeny, but it's not asking. Actually, it's not asking anything. It ought to flash and say, is this your IP address? Enter your IP address, dummy. Over here, you know, it should have arrows pointing to it that flash and gyrate. But no, it just sits there waiting for you to know that you need to put in your IP address. You need to put in the IP address of the machine that vMix is on. I'll have to experiment some more with that in the future. Can I control other machines in a different way? Not going to worry about the port number. The refresh rate is fast, which is amazingly fast. Anyway, I've got that. And let me show you what happens when you don't got that. So let's take those out, and I'm going to turn this on, and it won't stay on. It won't stay on. So that's what triggered my memory to say something is not right. So I'm going to click the vMix up at the top again, make it kind of active in a way, not really active, but the one I'm working on. I'm going to go ahead and put my IP address back in there. And now let's see if I can turn it on. Now it'll stay. So when I found this out, and it only took 10 minutes to figure this out. So we're up to about 40 minutes now. And I've just added two devices. And actually, I added both devices earlier, but the new tech device wasn't working. I didn't. I just. I saw the video, and he had a big keyboard, like a big keyboard, trying to get in here, but it was real big. And he was holding it up, and it was doing a light show, and it was a a remarkable light show. And I thought, well, maybe it's just the big. I talked myself out of it. Is what I did. Maybe it's just the big devices that have light shows, but no, this little one has a light show too. You want to see it? We can do it again. Whew. So proud of myself. Thank you, Joe. All right, so um, I added the Tricaster, I added the vMix, and now I need to do something to make them talk to each other, which is it's not intuitive. You got to have directions, or you got to be willing to make 1,000 mistakes, or in my case, probably 10,000. But finally, I figured out, hey, if I select this device, and if I say controls, well, there you go. I want to control it, so let's use a control for it. By the way, what's this other little arrow thingy for? It's some little window that didn't make any sense to me, so I threw it aside. I'll come back to it later. So let's go to controls. And this brings up a whole new window. And as you can see, the bottom left quadrant doesn't really have a whole lot in it. So we'll kind of leave it like that because everything we did was on layer 1. And here are the controls. This is a list right here of the controls that match the buttons on this device. Now, they're not always labeled exactly the same. And so I got to do some work figuring out here to figure out, is fast jog this guy or is this guy? And, it says it's a button, but this is not a button. So anyway, we'll not to get lost in that minutia. So if I want to do something, let's pick something easy to do, like the mark in and out buttons, which are these two buttons right here. So I want to find the mark in button, and I want to make it work. So finally figured out, hey, if I come down here and change this from Tricaster to vMix, now I've got a whole list of all the vMix controls that I can use. And this does seem to be sort of a little replay specific, but it wasn't enough. So if I use the search button here, and I can just put in the replay search, it will find all the instances of the word replay. And most of the API commands that vMix have, probably all of them, that have to do with replay, start with replay or have replay somewhere in the text. So what I want is the mark in button in vMix, and boom, there it is, replay mark in. And I thought, oh, this is great. I've connected them. I've done my job. How smart I am. And so I went over and I hit the in button, and nothing happened. Well, a couple things happened in my mind at this point. One was I realized, hey, I wasn't even running vMix. So I need to fire up vMix. The second thing I need to do is I need to add some cameras, and I need to add a replay, which I'm fixing to do right now for real, a replay input. And let's just pull out, we'll pull out that camera, and we'll pull out that camera. So what we're pulling out, drag this over here where you can see it. We're just doing two cameras, 1080, 60p. Yeah, that'll work. We'll do all that. So, okay, there we go. So we got that. And that brought us our instant replay screen, which I'm going to just sort of drag over here for a second and let you see. There's the instant replay screen. So one of the first things I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, let's go ahead and turn it on so that if something happens, it'll work. And if I hit the mark in button, then something should happen in here. So I'm going to hit the mark in button, and nothing happened. And I thought, okay, something's wrong. And I went back and watched one of the videos, and it said that there is, let's just bring this window up to the top, there is a new command button right in here. And I said, I don't see a new command button. What if I were going to be a new command, what would I be? Would I be a magnifying glass? Would I be a plus symbol? Would I be a minus symbol? Would I be an up or a down symbol? And if I mouse over the plus symbol, I was expecting it to say something. It didn't say anything. It should say, for those people that are stupid like me and watching older videos, it should say new command. Joe, it should say new command. For the dummies, for the idiots. If I click this plus button, watch what happens. Boom. I now have a command that says vMix replay mark in. And I thought, oh, that's great. Okay, how do I implement this? How do I tell it save, go, do, be, remember? And I looked everywhere for a save, go, do, be, remember button. And there was not a do be button to be found anywhere. And then I thought, well, let's just see what happens. So I hit the mark in button and boom. Let's do that again. Hold on. Let me take this guy out of here. I'll just cut it. All right. So, but it still shows the mark in button lit right here. So I hit the mark in button and it's not going to do it now. Can we undo that? There we go. Okay, let's try one more time. We hit the mark in button and boom, we get an in point. That was amazing breakthrough for me. The central control, I was overthinking it. I overthink everything, don't you? I mean, it's like, it can't be that easy. I can't just go mark out, replay mark out, plus, and it works. And it works. It was that simple. Crazy simple. Once you get the key to the door or the 5 doors and you understand the code or the lack of code, and I don't mean typing code, lines of code, writing a program. I just mean the secret code, the password, the secret knock, as it were. Knock, 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 knock. That's the secret knock right there. All right, so we got the secret knock. So what else can we do? What else can we have fun with? Oh, let's have fun. There's a 25% speed button in vMix. Let's see, bring that over here. And there it is right there. And if I press it, boom, vMix does all its replays at 25%. Press 100%, it does 100%. Well, the replay controller has a 25% button. See my finger down in the left-hand corner? Has a 25% button right there. If I mash it right now, of course, nothing's going to happen because we don't have it programmed yet. I use the word program loosely because I don't know what I'm doing. So anyway, I'm going to go back to the 25 and I'm going to say, what could it be here? Replay, 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 create, create, play, 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 fast forward, live, mark in, mark out, pause, play, play events, blah, 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 select channels, set replay A, set replay B. Well, I couldn't find it. And so I asked Joe on Facebook. And he said that it was, let's see. Let's try this. Set replay. And there it is. It popped up right there. Set replay speed abs. Well, you haven't seen my abs. I haven't seen my abs. But I don't think it was that kind of abs. So I'm going to select abs. And when I do, this little section over here in the top right-hand corner pops up. And excuse me, let me put this phone on mute. There we go. And I can take this speed right here and I can add to it. So we'll add to it all the way up to 25. There we go, 25. And so I've got 25 selected over here and set replay speed abs over here. Abs for absolute, not for tummy. And add. Boom. It's done. It's there. If I mash this button now, it's going to light up. Look at that. If we go into vMix and we see 25 is still there. How about that? Let's set it back for 100. And the light went out, but we mash it again and it sets 25. Oh, you didn't see the 100 because it's behind my head. But anyway, it's probably right about there. So yeah, so let me move me out of the way so we can show you the best of the best. It was amazing. It was great. All right, hold on. And we'll crop a little bit more on the right. And we'll shrink the head. The head shrinker's got me. Yeah, that's as good a place as any. All right, so we'll go back to 100. And we'll go back to 25. Let's do another one. This is good stuff now. Let's do 50, because that's twice 25. So I've got 50. I've already got set replay speed abs down here. And instead of hitting this 25 times, I'm just going to paint it and type in 50. Will that work? Darn tootin', it'll work. Give me a plus, and it's working. And I'm going to go from 25 to 50. And we'll look in vMix here. And sure enough, I'm on 50. How good can this be? Okay, let's tackle a higher challenge. Let's do the T-bar. Yeah, let's do the T-bar. Well, I happened to notice before that I've got buttons, faders, and encoders. And if I click buttons, I get this list of buttons. But if I click faders, I get a T-bar. Ha-ha. And by the way, I never touched, well, I did when I was screwing up, but I never played with either one of these boxes here. Don't even know what they do, but that's okay. You don't have to know either. But I do know that when I put in T-bar, the vMix options down here got to be specific to what can be done with the T-bar. And so I look down here and it's like set replay speed. Well, that's okay with me. I'll try that one. So we'll go, boom, it's set. Let's go into vMix. And let's see, we probably need to, oh, well, we can do it right here, can't we? Yeah, so we're at 100%. And then somewhere along the line, we hit 75%, then we hit 50%, then we hit 33%, then we hit 25%, and then we go to 0. And I don't know, did you see the lights flash over here on the left as I hit the certain percentages on my way up and down? Do it again. Sometimes I'm at it so quickly. Oh, you know what? It's not going to hit. It's not going to do the 35 or the 75, the 33 or the 75 because we haven't programmed those buttons yet. All right, so let's program those buttons so that our lights will light up. We'll go back to buttons. We'll do the 75. We'll go into vMix and we want to find a set replay, but we have to. It's not sweat. It's set. There we go. Set replay speed abs, and we're on 75. So we're going to paint that 75. We're going to add it. We're going to do 100. We're going to set that for 100. See, when you know what you're doing, boy, you can pop it up. We're going to do 33. We're going to set that for 33. Oops, excuse me. So now, when we're doing the T-bar, let's see if I can use the T-bar without blocking the screen. Yep, all our buttons are going to light up. Boom, 100%. There we go. That's T-bar. That was a lot of work, man. I mean, holy cow. So, and that was one of the easy ones. Really. I mean, there's still a few buttons on the 3-play controller that I don't know what their relative equivalent to is in vMix. I need to consult somebody that knows about this. But hey, we're getting there. And I was able to go ahead and do the record button up here, the A, B, and A plus B buttons, the play button, and just, trying to take the easy ones. The escape button, I don't know what that is in vMix. It's the get out of jail free button. Yeah. Anyway, so that's this guy. And I got to do this one more time. Oh, this is just too much fun. Isn't that just the best? All right, so I'm thinking on this. This could be, is this a different way of setting up an X keys? Can we do an X keys? I don't have an X keys plugged in. Well, I do have an X keys plugged in. Let's try it. Let's go back just real quickly. And I haven't done this at all, so I'm not sure how it would work. But let's go back in and let's do a new project. And we'll just give it, a different name. And so we're going to add a device, and we're going to add it by manufacturer. Is that going to be X keys or PI engineering? PI engineering. There we go. All right, we want the X keys XK80 right there. Good. And there's nothing fancy. X keys device, unit 1. Okay, well, we'll do that. Not quite sure. Let's add vMix real quick. vMix right there, there. Remember to add our IP address. We'll turn it on. That works. Can we turn the X keys on? That's working. So now let's real quickly pick a button that I don't think I'm using on the X keys. And can we just insert the X keys into the new tech screen? Let's hang on. If we're going to do it, let's at least do it only halfway wrong. All right. So we got that guy. Stay. Don't move. Don't slide. All right. So we're going to do controls. And it's got all the buttons. All right. And we're going to do vMix. And we are going to do, let's just do a cut direct and see if that works. Now, I don't know what buttons are what on here, but we can find out real quickly. So let's pull up our shortcuts list. Here's our shortcuts list, and we've got a few shortcuts. But do we have a shortcut that says cut? Yes, there it is. It's take, it's 2, 7, 2, and 74. Yeah, there isn't a reverse way of saying, hey, light up the button when I click on it. You kind of have to do a, so it's 274. So let's do a find. And, oh, well, here's a take button. So we know 266, 274. Okay, so that's already set up as take. Let's see what the pause button does. That's number 73. What about this red one? Red one is 65. Let's see if either one of those are in use. 73 is a stinger, and 65 is a preview. What about one of our blue buttons here? Bear with me. First blue button is 2-2. Okay, do we have a 2-2? 2-2, 2-2, 2-2. We don't have a 2-2. Doesn't look like we do. All right. So let's go back here and find 2, 2, 2. I think that, so we're going to add it. vMix cut direct. All right, so let's see if it works. 2, 2. Was that the button? Was it 2, 1? Well, I think it's 2, 2. Let's try. No, that went somewhere else. So let's try. Oh, you know what? I bet matrix 2, 2 is not what we think it is, because we got to put an input number in here. So let's put, oh, input number, cut direct. Oh, cut direct to an input. Oh, this is even better. So let's cut direct to the picture of Joe, which is input 5. Assuming we have the right key here, 2, 2. Let's take that one out. And we've got 2, 2, cut direct, number 5, add. So let's do 2, 2. Yep, still didn't do it. So I've got something wrong here. Let's just check. Bear with just one more second. This is the fun part. All right, let's go to find that button. That button is channel 2, note 2. I wonder if we've got the controller on the wrong channel. Oh, it's channel 2, channel 2, note 2, right? Okay. Let's just see if we press that button in vMix right now without, no, we already know that does something else. Let's see. Well, we'll have to work on this later. It's not working right the first time. Yeah. So let's play with that in the post show, shall we? I'll be right back, assuming this button works the way it used to. Well, we found out really quickly that the vMix, the X keys way of doing it is going to take the secret code of X keys. Yes, Ed, it's going to take the secret code. All right. GI thinks that central control uses button coordinates. That's interesting. So would you start at the top left for 1, 1? And would 1, 2 be, well, let me bring the picture up right here. So this is a 2 by 2 button. So would this be 1, 1, and that be 1, 2, and that be 2, 1, and that be 2, 2? 3, 1, 3, 2? Just, just trying to make sense of this. Right. Does the commands button on the top of the menu have to be on? Well, that's a good question. Let's look. Desktop capture. No. I don't think that makes any difference because it wasn't on. We didn't do it with the replay stuff. So this is a jump to control, and yeah, and that's a good point, Ed. This is not real clear. Jump to control is what this button is. Commands is the heading for this block. In the same way, well, it's not in the same way of anything because none of the other blocks are loaded, but this is the command. Yeah. So it's not intuitive, but I don't know that it could be intuitive because it's a thing that is not like other things. It's a thing all by itself. It's a thing with a capital G. Yeah, it's unique. So, all right, so let's say using the GI's comment that it uses button coordinates, let's go back to vMix and make sure that we don't have a button that is being used for something else. So I'll let you see what I'm looking at. I'm going to go find, and I'm going to take this blue button right next to the take button here at the end and see if I've assigned it to anything. So that's 58. 258. Okay. Do we have a 258 on here? We got a 252, 244, but I don't think we have a 258. It should be vMix. When you find that, it should bring it up, and if it's not there, it doesn't do anything. All right, so it doesn't look like that button has got a purpose in vMix. So let's assign that button. That would be 3, 2, 4, 6, 8. 3, 8 would be what it would be right there. 3, 8. Oh, it found it. Oh. So if I mash this button right here, yeah, and vMix thinks I want it to do something, of course, but it tells me it's button 3, 1. So button 3, 8. Oh, you know what that is? I've got a trigger set up. So let's do well, we're supposed to do input. Oh, it's cut direct. Well, let's do something else. Let's do a full screen off and on. So full screen off and on will be 3, 8, and let's just try that. Full screen on. No, I've got full screen on right now, so let's do a full screen off. No, let's get rid of the on and see if the off will do. So we'll go here. Yeah, that turned it off, but it also did something else. I wish there was a way. I wish there was a way to see what buttons I've already used. Let's see if that's a thing. XK80 buttons, triggers, commands. Yeah, there's not a list here of things that we've done. What about in vMix? Controls. That's not what we wanted. Right there. There we go. Triggers, commands. No. So there's not a listing of what we've used already that I can find. Unless I've missed something. Let's turn full screen back on. That worked, but it also did some other things. Yeah. I love the comments here. Let's bring up some of these comments. Let's see, where are we here? Jump to control might highlight the button when you press it. I don't think it does because they talked about that. Yeah, no personal experience either. They talked about that in the videos, but you know how it is when you know how to do something and it's sort of second nature, you just sort of do it and move right on instead of explaining, oh, by the way, when you press this button, this is what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And You know, these dudes in England, they are so smart, little smart Alex. Gonna have Joe on the show next week, maybe even Ollie too, not sure. But they're so smart that they're idiots. That's what they are. They're so smart that they're idiots because they're assuming that everybody else is as smart as they are, or that everybody else has more fairly, that everybody else has as much experience in the software as they do. And I do the same thing with my vMix tutorials. When I'm doing something live and I was like, okay, do this, this, and this. And people are like, whoa, hold on a second. Go back to that very first thing you did and tell us where it is, why you did it, you know, that kind of explanation. And maybe central control needs a live training. There's an opportunity right there, Joe. I'd sign up for it. I'd pay money for it. All right, let's see. Thank you, Michael, if you're still around. All right, GI says, I think it did highlight it when you pressed the button last time. Well, let's look. That's great. Let's get this out of the way. And we turn it off. And let's just see what button this is. Well, whatever, every button is set up for a cut now. I got to get rid of that. So let's find a cut. Do we have a cut direct? Yes, there it is. We need to get rid of that. Take it off. Are there any other cut directs? Okay. So let's go back here and we'll do another full screen. Full screen. Wow, there's a toggle full screen. There you go. That's what we want. We want a toggle button. And let's take the vMix take button out of the show. So find, take 74 or 76, depending on how you look at it. Okay. So we're going to take out 74. And what was the other one? 76, 78, 74. What is 78? Oh, you know, it may be something that we're finding here. 76, 66, or 74. Okay. So do we see a 66 on this list? 65. Okay, so that I don't think that there is a button that corresponds to this. So let's see what we push here. If we push the take button, yeah, it has brought input number 38 and put it in preview. So, well, let's see what that is. That's 38. See, it's popping stuff up. Or 38. But there's already a command of some kind of, well, we'll have to do it with a fresh preset that that's a blank preset that I don't have. In fact, probably just set up shortcuts that are local shortcuts only. Anyway. Let's see. Let's go back up here and see where else we are. Eric says he's been testing it for about a year. Really? When you say testing, I hear playing. We'll do a production in 2 months. Wow, congratulations. So what are you doing? Tell me more. Tell me more. And don't forget to watch next week because Joe's going to be here next week. So what are you doing with it? You just switching cameras, you doing lower thirds, you previewing stuff, you doing instant replay. What surface are you using? You using X keys? Are you doing a remote? Did you know you can use this stuff for remote? Like if you've got some sort of vMix in the cloud, you can use it to control vMix in the cloud. You can use it to control multiple instances of vMix in the cloud. Aha, so using ATEM as your control surface and vMix as the software. Tell me more. Tell me more. And X keys. Well, it's like pulling it out of him one word at a time. Well, maybe, Eric, maybe we need to have you on the show to show us all your secrets. Yeah. We will see. All right. Okay. So he's giving us a little bit more. Blackmagic cameras, Tally Light, CCU. Yeah, I get that. I get that. I remember one of the first jobs that I did that somebody mentioned CCUs, and they had, you know, these cameras that were part of this CCU system, and could they use the cameras all by themselves without the CCU? Oh, oh my, yeah. It took a while, but we did it. It was fun. It was fun. All right, guys, I need to wrap up here. Really fun. Really fun. Coming up next week is Joe to Max, and we'll make sure everybody gets reminded on that one. So you won't want to miss it. And he'll answer all my questions. And you might have some questions too. You might have some suggestions. I find Joe to be very responsive when he thinks that a suggestion or the answer to a question might help his software reach broader appeal. And I think the broader appeal will be that we're all using it, that anybody that uses vMix will use central control. Not anybody, everybody, but a lot of people will find it easier. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I found out that, you know, that I went down a lot of dead end alleys because I didn't know what I was doing. Didn't read the book. Didn't watch the tutorials. And, you know, I had the same issues with vMix at the very beginning. I had to really just sit down and there was something about it too. Oh, it was when you wanted to stream to more than one destination. That was not particularly well configured, and George Price helped me understand that. And as a result, vMix changed. Yep, that was a long time ago. Have to go back and look at that. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time today. It's good hanging out with you. If you're going to be out in Las Vegas for NAB, let me know. We will get together. Not sure if we're going to do a big meetup or not. Working on that. Just not sure where we're going to land. But yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, got a comment here. One last on the way out. GI says, compared to Companion, having the buttons line up automatically looks nice. Well, I don't think it works with every machine that way. I've got an Akai APC Mini here that I was going to play with, and I realized that you have to set each button to do the color you want it to do to indicate the status you want it to do. In the case of the new tech, it just, you know, the buttons are on or off. Now the light show's cool, but you know, the buttons are on or off. Light wise. Yeah. Good. Take care, guys. We'll catch you on the flip side. When people say that we'll catch you on the flip side, maybe you don't hear that very much. But do you know what that means? In my day, growing up, there were records, vinyl records. There were big ones, and there were medium-sized ones, and there were little ones. And the little ones, golly, now I don't even remember what the RPMs were for those little guys. 45s maybe. And they were recorded on the top side, and they were recorded on the bottom side. And you would flip them to listen to them. That would be the flip side. So there was always the really, really good song on the one side, and then a song that they wanted people to get to know on the flip side. So that's where that came from. At least that's part of the explanation. So I'll see you on the flip side.